This is Legendary Lightning Wolf back with another video. You know how I said that our channel is going to be mainly Pokemon and that there would be a few stragglers? Well, this is one of those stragglers. Now, my favorite TV show is Survivor, which is this show where these random strangers are transported to this island and they have to battle it out for $1 million. I would say this is the most popular reality TV show of all time. And there have been 50 seasons, each with a winner. But season 50 is still happening, and we do not know who wins that. So we have season 1, where my mouse is, to season 49, to where my mouse is there. Those are the winners of every single season. And today, I'm going to be ranking every single one of them based on how they played in their game that they won, their future appearances, and what type of game they played. We have a similar tier list to when we ranked all the starters, but this time we added a GOAT tier. Alright, let's get straight into it. So number 1, we have Richard Hatch. Richard Hatch was in season 1, and he is the foundation of all Survivor winners. While he didn't play a perfect game, he still played a very good game, and he set the stage for all other winners. So I think just because of that, he has to be in A tier. Moving on, we have Tina from season 2, the Australian Outback. Now, Tina, honest thoughts on Tina. I do not think she played a great game. Here's the reason why. I feel like she didn't make a ton of moves. She didn't really form the alliance. The alliance kind of got formed, and she just got pushed into it. And then she would have lost if Colby hadn't taken her, which in my opinion, I don't think she played a very good game, but I would put her in C tier. Next up, we have Ethan from Africa, season Africa. And he's from season 3. Ethan was a professional soccer player when he played the game, and he played a strong game. He played a very strong game. He formed his alliance, unlike Tina, and he handled the first tribe swap ever, very well. So I think I would put him above Richard Hatch in A tier. Next up, we have Vesipia from season 4, Marquesas. Now, Vesipia, she's an interesting one. She's underlooked. Not many people say much about her, but she actually played a great game. She overcame a 6-4 numbers deficit at the merge, and I think that's very respectable in itself. So honestly, I think she's a bit underrated. I would put her in B tier. All right, we have Brian from season 5, Taiwan. Taiwan is widely considered to be the worst season of Survivor, and I honestly kind of agree. It's a terrible season, but Brian Hyde played a decent enough game to win, but it wasn't anything special at all. I think he didn't have many moves. I would either put him in, and he was kind of a psychopath. I'd either put him in C or D. I think D. I'm going to go with D. Alright. Next up is Jenna from season 6, The Amazon. The Amazon was a great season. It had so many great characters, but Jenna was not the one I wanted to see win. She played a decent enough game, I guess. I would put her in D tier ahead of Brian. Okay, this is a classic winner, Sandra. The one of 2 people on this list to win twice. All right, now Sandra she played in season 7, Pearl Islands. She played a great game. But Sandra in Pearl Islands, her game was, I would say, at this point in time, do not get mad at me, but for Pearl Islands, Sandra, ahead of Vesipia in B tier. Do not get mad. All right, Amber. She was from season 8 All Stars, and most widely famous for her romance with Rob, who is down here, who I'm circling, with the Boston hat. And they got married. But to be honest, Amber got carried by Rob. Rob made more moves, which made the jury more mad at him, which is why he didn't win. So Amber undoubtedly played a great game, but I would put her behind Tina in C tier. Now Chris, he was in season 9 Vanuatu, a legend. An absolute legend. I love this guy. He didn't play this best game, but I think he would have to be an A tier ahead of Richard Hatch. Could be controversial. All right, Tom. So there's not even any talk. S tier. Tom played a top 5 game, in my opinion. His game was basically perfect. He completely took out the other tribe. He was in control the entire time. And his final mutiny win was just picture perfect. So, easy S tier. Alright, we have Danny from Guatemala. I don't think there's much that needs to be said. She played against Stephanie in the final 2, and just because she didn't make as many people mad as Stephanie did, so that's why she won. So she definitely played a better game than Jenna and Brian, but top of D tier. Aris from season 12, Exile Island. This was the first season to really ramp up strategy, I would say. Aris didn't play a perfect game. He played a good game. Maybe I would say, like right there. Middle of B tier. What the heck? Okay, dude. What is this? Wait. What is that? How do I make that go away? Okay, so. What is this? What is that coming from? Wait, this is awkward. Okay, it stopped. What? I don't know how to make it stop. What am I supposed to do? What do I do? I muted it. I guess mute is invert for some reason. Okay, Yule in Cook Islands, season 13. Yule, I think, another S tier behind Tom. Yule played a phenomenal game. He had the super idol, which meant he can never be voted out. And he just overcame a big deficit at the merge. Played a great game. All right, we have Earl from season 14, Fiji. Earl, he is a chill dude, one of my favorite winners, but he honestly did not play as good as the game as the other winners. So, he was a nice guy, though. I put him in back of C tier. Okay, Todd from season 15, China. He played a great game. Absolutely phenomenal from the very beginning. I don't want to say S tier, top of A tier for Todd. Alright, season 16. This was Parvati from Fans vs. Favorites. And honestly, I think Parvati has to be in the GOAT tier. Because Parvati, she had just come off of a terrible performance. Her game here was unbelievable. She formed the Black Widow Brigade, the most infamous alliance of all time. It was just incredible. Absolutely phenomenal. All right. We have Bob from season 17, Gabon, F tier. I'm not even going to say anything. But he just played. Worst game of any winner. Absolutely. All right. JT from season 18, Token Chains. Ooh, this is tough. JT has to be ahead of Tom and S tier. He played, I believe the only perfect game where he had no votes casted against him to be voted out and every vote to be the winner. But he wouldn't be in GOAT because his future appearances were not as strong as Parvati's. Alright, Natalie White. Natalie played an under-the-radar game from season 19, Samoa. I think her game was not bad, but maybe like ahead of Brian in D tier. All right, we have Sandra, second-time winner. She was up there, and Sandra's game here. I mean, this time, Sandra became the GOAT. I think Parvati should have won, which is why I'm going to put Sandra behind her and go. But Sandra played against All-Stars. This was an All-Star season, and she played against All-Stars, handled them extremely well, had a great strategy, all-around great game. All right, Fabio from season 19, Nicaragua. Oh no, from season 21, Nicaragua. Fabio, F tier. Not much to say about him. He just didn't make any moves. The only reason why he won was he won an immunity at the end. Not a good game. Alright. Austin Rob, GOAT tier. Not even an explanation needed. Well, I guess I will say something. He manipulated his entire tribe into thinking that they would win. He played the best Survivor game of all time in his season. Alright, we have Sophie from season 23, South Pacific. Sophie, her game was good. Kind of similar to Daddy, I would say. Or to Amber. But I would put her behind Earl in C tier. Alright, we have Kim. Played a phenomenal game. Gotta be the top of S tier because she was just in control the entire game. People were predicting it from the start. Even from her cast photo, people thought she was going to win. Alright, Denise from season 25, Philippines. Denise played another good game, and her appearances in future seasons boost her stock a lot. But I would say she played a worse game than Vesepia. She's going to be in B tier. We have John Cochran. This has to be an A tier. Probably like right here for Cochran. He played in season 26, the Fan vs. Favorites number 2, or otherwise known as Caramoan. And he just played a great game. Another one of these. This was another one where people were predicting it from the start. And really smart guy. Had a great strategy and just played an all-around great game. Alright, Tyson from season 27, Blood vs. Water. Tyson, his game was great. I think I would put it in B, at the top of B tier. Oh, that might be controversial. But he was on a season where you competed against your loved ones, and that was just really great. And he was in control most of the game. I think he deserves to be in top of B tier. All right, Tony, no question. Top of GOAT tier. Oh wait, no. Sorry. I'm in error. Tony would be behind Rob. Actually, behind Paul. Actually, no. Tony would be back here because this was his first season. He was our other two-time winner. He played in season 28, Cagayan. Like, widely regarded as one of the best seasons. And there was fierce competition. He played great. He made spy shacks, found idols, used idols. His game was almost perfect. All right. We have Natalie from season 29, San Juan del Sur. This was the second Loved Ones season. And Natalie, I've got to be honest, played an A-tier game. Maybe like behind Chris. But Natalie's game was almost perfect, except that her number one ally, Jeremy, got voted out. Alright, let's just do Jeremy now. He was in season... Actually, no, let's do Mike first. Mike was in season 30, Worlds Apart, which is a season that divided people by their ways of life. He was on the Blue Collar Tribe, which meant he was a workhorse. And he definitely was a workhorse. I would put him behind Tyson in B tier, only because his social game was non-existent. He won by winning like 5 immunity challenges in a row, but he still played a good game. Alright, now we have Jeremy, who actually was on Second Chance, season 31, and he is my favorite player of all time, I gotta be honest, but that will not factor into my ranking. If I'm gonna rank Jeremy, due to his future performances, I think he's gotta be top of A tier because he used idols on his alliance members. He preserved his alliance the entire game, and he had good reads on the game. He just played great this season. Michelle from season 32, Ko-Ron. Michelle, Aubrey should have beaten her, 100%. Michelle has to be like there, right there in D tier. Because, as I said, Aubrey should have beaten her in the end. Michelle found too many advantages. I just don't think she deserved it. Next up, we have Adam Klen from season 33, Millennials versus Gen X. Adam played a great game, but his future performance in Winners at War definitely lowered his ranking. But with all that considered, I don't know. He was in an alliance and convinced a lot of people to do stupid things. I think he should be in B tier ahead of Mike. Alright, Sarah in Game Changers. Sarah played an S tier game, right? Wait. I just messed up. Alright. Okay, Sarah played an S tier game. Better than you. She literally had it from the start. Nobody expected her to win because her first performance in Cagayan was terrible. But she was in an all-star season and dominated. That's all I'm going to say. We have Ben from season 35, Heroes vs. Healers vs. Hustlers. Played a good game, but it was idle and win heavy. And he got saved by the fire making challenge into the final four. Honestly, he played a better game than Danny. I would put him in D tier. Alright, we have Wendell from season 36, Ghost Island. To this day, I still think that Dom should have won. Wendell's win was only because the votes were a tie. And they had to have the other person, whose name was Laura, vote for who she thought was going to win. She picked Wendell because Wendell had better connections with people. Dom played a better game. Wendell still played a great game, but I would put him right there, right in the middle of B tier. Nick from season 37, David versus Goliath. And he was on the David tribe. He played a good game, but his next performance in Winners and More hurt his stock a lot. I would put him in D tier, maybe like the front of D tier. Alright, this was the most controversial winner of all time. Chris Underwood from season 38, Edge of Extinction. Now, the Edge of Extinction was interesting because normally when people are voted out of the game, they lost. The Edge of Extinction allowed people that were voted out of the game to still be alive in the game and live on an island called the Edge of Extinction. And then at day 36, the game lasts 39 days. On day 36, he won the challenge to get back into the game, and then somehow found a way to win. But just based on the fact that he spent the whole time on the edge, he's got to be at the top of F tier, just based on that. Tommy Sheehan from season 39, Island of the Idols. Tommy Sheehan played a good, honestly, top of B tier game, only because he wasn't as good as he thought he was, but he had the strategy down and played, I would say, top 20 game. All right, Tony, Winners at War, no question. Played the best game of all time, top of GOAT tier, even better than he was in Cagayan. So this was his second time playing. He was playing against all winners, and he won. Nothing more needs to be said. Erica, F tier. I'm not even gonna say anything. Marianne. Ooh. A tier in the middle because her game was great, but it was a little too under the radar for me. All right, we have Gabler, another free F tier. He was a kooky guy and did not deserve to win. He put himself against the two worst players in the entire game. All right, we have Jam Jam from season 44, who played a good game, but the back of C tier because it wasn't dominant. And now we have the complete flip of the script, D, who played the most dominant game of all time. Literally knew who was going home every single time, bamboozled the entire cast. And the only reason why she's not in GOAT tier, she might actually be because she's still in season 50, is because she almost didn't win at Final Tribal Council. Alright, Kenzie. Kenzie was saved by a medical evacuation. She was from season 46. She still played a good game, but I would put her at the top of C tier. Rachel, she played a A tier level game, but it was similar to Marianne, just a little bit better than Marianne. Because she had a few tribal councils where she was out of the loop, but in the end, she was the clear favorite and won and just played a perfect game towards the end. Kyle Frazier from season 48. He's got to be an A tier. I would say a bit of a better game than Todd. Played very similarly to Todd. Formed the main alliance. Was just dominant the entire game. Played a very loyal game. I thought he was great. Savannah, another S tier. Well, not GOAT tier, but definitely a better game than Sarah. Played a very similar game to Parvati, is what I would say. Yeah, basically the same game as Parvati. But there you have it. That is a complete list of all the Survivor winners, and I wonder what our next video should be. I'm sorry, I'm trying to turn on comments. I don't know how to do it. So you can tell me what you think our next video should be. But be sure to like and subscribe, and then you can join the Wolf Pack. Alright, bye.